Item number 7 is public comment. Public comment period is your opportunity to speak to the council and the mayor on issues that relate to the city of Kent or agenda items that the council will consider. Clerk will announce each speaker when you're called up to speak. Please step up to the podium, state your name and city of residence for the record. You will each have 2 minutes for comment. There will be an on-screen timer to help guide you in that.
Next speaker is Kathleen Barker, followed by Ann Pence.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have brought with me, I'm also from SHAG.
State your name and city of residence for the record, please.
Yes, I live in Kent. My name is Kathleen Barker.
Thank you.
I'm nervous. I'm sorry.
Nope, it's okay.
I have brought with us envelopes with all our complaints from SHAG. We have ongoing problems there. We have ants. We are being charged for bed bugs. There are many, many problems. Water leaks that it's just, there's just too much to explain. We have written it up, and we have, I gave the information for each and every one of you, and we would appreciate it if you would look at it and see what you can do. We also have made groups, leaders. I'm one of the leaders from each building. This is not just one building, it's all 3 buildings in Tricourt. And they advertise, and we have no amenities, we have nothing. I had ants crawling up my legs the other day. It is just infested. People have bed bugs, and all they do is say, you got to pay for it. And we know that that's not true. They wouldn't take our checks 2 months ago. They wouldn't take our money orders. It's just ongoing. Thank you.
We will, at the end of public comment, we'll admit those statements into the record.
I'm sorry, the next speaker is Ann Pence, followed by Violet Water, I think it is. I can't read it.
Mayor, City Council, ladies and gentlemen, I'm with SHAG also. We've been having a lot of problems with almost everything that you can think of in these buildings. One request, is the chief still here? Chief, we have a request. I remember someone telling me a few years ago that the police would go through our parking lots every so often, and it helped make a difference. The reason why? We're inundated with the homeless. We have our own tenants letting these homeless in our building. They use our washer and dryers. Well, we don't know what kind of stuff is in their clothes. We want to keep our washer and dryers as clean as we can, and they don't need to be using them. We use them. But these are the issues of security. There is no security. There are no cameras for the outside. There's no cameras for the inside. We have things that are being stolen from our front doors, our apartment doors. And there's no way that we know who did it. Cameras would be a big help. We have people in our building that are also dealing with drugs. And SHAG is not addressing that issue at all. And it's very, very sad. We're not being treated fairly. Repairs sometimes don't even get taken care of until we have complained after a few months. They're not done quickly. We have staff that does not really show a whole lot of respect to us. It's just like we're a herd of cattle getting ready to go to the end. You know what I'm saying? And this is not right. We are humans. We have our own needs. And washer and dryers were out. 50% of them were out for 2 months. And when you're handicapped, it's kind of hard to go up and down the elevator to find a washer and dryer, and then you go down there and you find out it's being used. Well, what do? Got to go back up to your apartment, you know, with your cane, your walker, your wheelchair, or whatever. We're just not being treated like we are seniors. They don't seem to be educated in how to work with seniors. They tell us we have to clean up after ourselves when we're in the community room. No problem. But they don't give us the right equipment. We have a dustpan You have to get down on the floor with. Some of us can't get down on the floor.
I need you to
need
wrap-
a dustpan with a handle. Oh, I'm done.
Yeah, sorry.
sorry.
It goes by very quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Violet. Is it Water?
No, it's Lavatai.
Lavatai. Okay.
It's the Samoan name.
Okay. And then followed by Pamela Roth.
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening. This is my first time in Kent, actually. I live in Kent. I'm a resident here for 5 years. I'm the executive director of the Tenants Union of Washington. My name is Violet Lavatai. I'm also a community activist. So everybody that's here that's testifying on behalf of the units that they're living in, we stepped in to help. Congressman Smith also, Adam Smith reached out to us, and a bunch of people reached out to the Tenants Union of Washington. Our job is to advocate for our vulnerable communities. It's deplorable in those in the tri-courts. SHAG, the organization SHAG, who is supposed to be a nonprofit, pour millions of dollars in their ads. You would see it on TV. One day, try to look them up. You'll see the ads. It's beautiful. Lou Piniella was the coach for Mariners. He's the spokesperson. The reality is the commercial doesn't reflect the tenants where they live at. So we stepped in. We're organizing right now with the tenants to support them. Bed bugs, ants. The living conditions are, not up to standards. And we have a lot of, these are our vulnerable communities that live in our city of Kent, and we want them to spend the rest of their days. They should be drinking tea, playing bridge and all these things, but that's not the reality of this. They fight every day for just the minimum bare repairs and things like that. We implore the city council, all of you, as we organize to get better living conditions for these tenants. They have the right to live in not deplorable conditions, unsafe conditions, and that's why we're all here. And I'm used to being in city of Seattle council meetings. I love it here in Kent. This is my first time. I feel like I'm in a home, like families.
Yep.
So good on you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Members.
Next speaker is Pamela Roth, followed by Mark Oberlotz.
Evening. I'm Pamela Roth, and I live in Kent. I also live in the Tri-Court Apartments. I've been there approximately 5 years. And I would like to say that the FD Cares and the Police Department in Kent have been so helpful with some of our issues. My building is kind of the middle building, and our elevator was out for almost 2 months last year. We have one elevator in the building. Some of our residents were stuck on the 3rd floor. We had to have wheelchairs or electric wheelchairs and couldn't get out. If someone needed help, we were told to call the fire department to get people downstairs. It was a really difficult situation. There's ongoing problems. There are a lot of people that have lived there for 20 years since it was built. It was built, I think, back in the 90s, around the same time that Harrison House was built. My mother-in-law was one of the first people to move into Harrison House when it was built by the city of Kent. And I'm not sure which year the King County took it over. But we need more housing for our seniors. I do the best I can to help some of my neighbors. I'm a little more agile than some that have been there for a long time. We have some with cognitive disabilities that have been there a long time, dyslexic, or not dyslexic, but autistic and have different issues. These are not being addressed by the current management. I do believe that SHAG has been dispersed and bought by some other entities. But some of the issues we have are we lose hot water frequently. We have constant leaking pipes. It's an old building. It's an old building. And we do have a problem with insects. But the other issues I know are not an issue for the council. but there are some issues that are, and they're housing codes and human rights. And we are bringing these to you to see what you can do to bring any pressure to the ownership. And thank you for consideration.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Mark Oberlotz, followed by Michael Diamond.
Mark Oberlotz, I live in Kent at the Tricor Apartments, and I want to summarize briefly that the biggest problem we have is that when management gets a complaint, one of their first things to do is start threatening to evict you. They will charge for items that under state law, unless they have evidence that the tenant actually brought the bed bugs in, they're responsible. But they say, no, 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 it's your apartment, you have to pay. And those bills stay on their ledgers for years. And what's happening now is they are switching people over without their permission to an online payment program that is periodically taking bed bug reimbursements out of people's accounts without their knowledge. I have talked to them. I am a retired attorney, and they basically tell me, when I tell them the law, to pound sand. There are a lot of legal violations by the current management team. The prior team beforehand used to work with me, and actually the joke was I was his ghostwriter for his bosses, because I would argue it, show him all of the information. He'd say, okay, I'll send it up, and he would cut and paste out of my emails. No, they now tell me to just lump it, and they're very, very combative about it. And I mean, it's just a very hostile environment. And I think that's the biggest problem. So, I mean, there are a lot of code violations in there, and there are a lot of failures to repair. Last thing, I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure they wait until they get their HUD check to do their major repairs. So we only get major repairs once a year when their federal check comes in. Can't prove it, but it always seems to be the same time every year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.